Okay, here we are with the final part of the review. This is going to be some more game testing than my personal thoughts. First up, we're going to try a Super Nintendo Game Genie real quick. And the Game Genie part loads up fine. As does the game. Now for these last few, we're going to do some crazy stacking just to see if the stuff works. First up is a Super Nintendo Game Genie with a Super Game Boy with the Game Boy game. And our Game Genie screen's coming up. It's our code selection screen. Super Game Boy comes up. Now this is something I found kind of funny. It does seem to work, but it's really delayed. And I know normally the Game Genie usually don't support the games that have the extra pins on the sides inside on the cartridge. Usually ones that use the Super FX chip for the most part. This one, it seems to actually be working. However, it's kind of slow for some reason. Slower than, you know, what it is whenever you normally load it up. However, it does seem to kind of be working, just really delayed for some reason. I've honestly never seen anything like this before. And now for the final crazy stack, how about a Game Genie with Sonic and Knuckles with Sonic 3? Let's check this one out real quick. Game Genie screen comes up, code selection comes up. Controller seems to be having some issues. Hold on just a moment. There we go. As you can see, a stack is still in place. And believe it or not, Sonic 3 and Knuckles works. Pretty cool. And that is one large stack, guys. Alright, as far as my thoughts, if you're going to spend $60 or $70 for a clone console, this thing is great if you haven't got one of the systems that includes support for, like a Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis, or whatnot. If you don't have one of those yet, you want to start playing them, this is great. It also makes a pretty nice secondary console. Like, let's say you've got all three of your regular systems in one room. This is a great system to wire up in the living room. That way, you know, it's more convenient to actually just pull the game out, go to your living room and play it, rather than, you know, unhook your system from one room, move it to another. As far as bad parts of support, yeah, I did show a lot of them that weren't really fully working. However, I did go out of my way to pick out any combination of games that didn't work. That way you knew right off the bat what would work and what wouldn't. I would say most of the time 95 to 99% of the games work fine. I did go out of my way to show the problem titles just to make everyone aware of what does and does not work. Overall, the only other real problem I can come up with would be the controller, how it's a standard 6-button configuration like on the Genesis 6-button controller. It works great for Genesis titles, however, keep in mind that your A and B and X and Y are going to be reversed on regular Nintendo and Super Nintendo titles. Overall, I'd probably give this system an 8 out of 10. It makes a great secondary system, which is primarily what I use it for, but it also makes a great system if you're just starting to get into collecting and don't have one of the systems yet. It makes a great standby until you get one of the other systems. And like I said, it's available from GameGavel.com, so if you're interested, be sure to swing by the Game Gavel and pick one up. Have a good one. We'll see you in the next review.